Hello again. Nice to meet you again. Now, in this video, we are going to be creating the client program. Remember, in the last video, we created the server. Now we are going to create a client program, a client TCP client program that's going to communicate with the server that we created in the first video, in the previous video rather. So what I'm going to do, and there is very much similar, the code is very much similar to what we created in the server program. Remember the server program that we created. So what I'm going to do, I'll just copy some of the code to save time. I'll just copy up to here. All right, I'll just copy up here. Let me copy up to here, then we can proceed from there. So I'll just copy here, save, and now I'm going to save it. Hello client underscore client .c. Oh, right. I can even copy everything just to make the necessary connection that we need. Okay, there's no listing, there's no all right. Let me just copy everything from the server, just make a modification, and you can also do the same. Just need to Control B. So it's basically the same. The code is very much similar. So you just need to make some little modification to it. Just remove some things that are not in the client program. So let me save this one. So we have the header file just as we, and then also here, we say to run the client, issue the command hello client. And then this time around, we have to specify the IP address that the server is running on. So IP address, IP address followed by port number. So that is the how we are going to run the client program when we eventually finish it to communicate with the server. Also here we have error handling program, we have function main definition, but in the creation of the socket, we create the socket as client socket. So int client socket fd, and then same socket function call. Also here it's not no more server but client, so client socket fd, and then also here we bind the socket, and then let's call it client address, then also same memset with client address, and then size of client address. So client address, client address, the SNP family AFINet, and client address. But seen here we are specifying the something, since the user is going to supply the IP address via the terminal, then we have to specify it here. So we said host okay, yeah, we are not going to make use of this function since the user is going to supply the IP address via the terminal using dotted decimal format like 127.127. Say he's going to be in this form. Let's say he's using the same computer local addresses as we are going to do, .0.1. So this is in a dotted decimal format, and we can't use that previous function that we use in the server program. So we have to make use of this particular function, which will be responsible for converting this particular IP address in the dotted decimal format into a network order byte, host network byte to host order byte to network order byte. So this one is going to convert it from this dotted decimal format into the network order byte. So that is why we make inet addr, and then but since we are not hard coding it into the program, it's going to be supplied by the user when at runtime while running the program. So we specify the right array index. So argv is going to be the second element. And also for the fourth number here is going to be the second element. AGB1. Okay, so next what we need to do, there's no bind in here, so I'm going to do away with the bind. There's no listing. So I'll do away with the whole of this. Instead of accept, is going to be connect. Connect. Connect to the server. Connect to the server. So I'm going to connect to the server. So we're going to connect to the server. So struct editor client address, and we don't need this. We have already defined it, and we don't need this. So we set int connection status, int connection status, connection status is going to be connect, function connect, and we are going to first the client socket fd, and we are socket ADDR and client address and size of client address. So here we are going to make use of the size of client address, and then we see size of client address, size of client address. So client socket fd, our file descriptor, our client address, and then size of client address. So that is what we are going to pass to function connect to connect to the server. Now we want to check whether the connection has been successful. So connection status, if connection status is -1, then we said connection error, connect error. So connect error. Okay, and then close this. This is the way it is. So we paste it here. Now we communicate with the server. So communicate with the server, and here is going to since we are the one receiving, we just declare an empty array. So an empty, just like a buffer to store the message that we are going to get from the server. So I'm then going also here instead of write, I'm going to change it to read. So read status, and then inside function write is going to be read. So read, and we are reading from the using our client socket fd, using our client socket fd message, and then size of message. Then we need to subtract the null terminating character. So we just say -1. So then now we check if the read status is successful. Ctrl Z. We check the read status. So read status equals -1, arrow handling, and then we write read arrow, and then let's copy this, and then paste it here, and then next we close the client socket. Here we don't have server socket here, and then we return 0. So likewise the error handling function is the same thing. So just the server program, make the little modification to it, and now it is now a client program. So next I'm going to compile this program and then see if there's any error. We go over and proceed to fix the error. So let me clear this terminal here. cd home visual document programming YouTube ls. So as you can see, it's not compiled. Now we're going to compile it. gcc hello client. Let's see, I want to output it as hello client .c. So we have undeclared server address, yeah. So we need to make for line 43 and line number 58, line 53 and 58. All right, line 53 and 58, we need to make some little correction. So line number 53, is it 43 or 53? It's 43 rather. So client address, not server address. So client address, and then 58. We need to specify the size. Yes, let's specify. So let's say 50. 50 will contain the message hello world from the that we are going to get from the server. So now next, go back and clear the screen, recompile it again. Okay, so fortunately there's no any error. So now let's see how we can communicate with the server. Also, we didn't print the message from the server. I can remember. After getting the mail, we just get the message and we didn't perform any printing. So let's print the message. Just say print. Print format. Message from the server. Message from the server. Message from the server, and then percentage s the message, and then we simply print out the content of the message array. So that's all. Let's recompile it again. And okay, so before this, let's have a new line character if there is any need for it. Oh, let's see the printout. If there's a need for it, we come over and fix it. So go to the terminal here. I'll compile it. Just successfully compile. So let me have two terminals, one for the server, one for the client. So clear. So let's, for the first one, let's run the server, hello server, and then I'm going to run it over for, say, 8080. You can specify any 40 like, and I hit enter. So my server is running. So let's run the client, hello client, and then the IP address. Since it is on the same machine, I'm going to supply the localhost IP address, and the localhost IP address is 127. Localhost means the same computer. Since I'm running both the client and the server program on this computer, so I need to supply the IP address of this computer, and it is 127.0.0.1, and the port that the server is running on is on port 8080. Then hit enter. So hello client. All right, run the server. Okay, we need to go and fix that particular client code, please. Wow. So so let's go to the client code. Yes, the error handling, we didn't check. It is supposed to be for the server. Run the server, run the client, run the client. Not equals to 3. It's supposed to be 3. IP address going to be IP address, and then port. So here also we say IP address, followed by port. So let's go and compile and run our program. So just come over here and then clear the screen. GCC compiler. All right. So GCC hello client .c, and then I want to output it as hello client. Hit enter. So successfully compile. Now so let's run it. Hello client without putting anything. So we can see the something is being done correctly. The error message, we need to input IP address and port number. So let me input the IP address and the port number. Hello client, IP address, localhost, because it is the same machine that we are working on. IP address 127.0.0.1, and then the port number is port 8080 because my server is running on port 8080, as you can see it here. So the port have to specify the IP address, the same IP address of the server. The server is running on this machine. That is why I supply this local host IP address, loopback address, local address, home address 127.0.0.1 port 8080. Then hit enter. So as we can see, we have gotten our message from the server. Hello world. So we have successfully accomplished our client and server program in this video tutorial. So thank you for taking your time to watch my video tutorial, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and please share the video out, and invite your friends to share my channel with your friends so that they can also benefit from this video tutorials. So thank you for watching these tutorials.